Hey everybody, this is Darksied, and welcome back to part 32 of our Dark Souls walkthrough. Okay, we're gonna head on out here. It was, at this moment I was trying to figure out exactly where I was going to go next, and I eventually decided on heading out to the Duke's Archives, and we're gonna get that taken care of and get Seath down, and we will worry about the, demon ruins last, I think. So we're going to head out to Anor Londo here. Okay, now, as you may remember, the way to the Duke's Archives was one of the yellow gates that was previously blocked before we put down the Lord Vessel. So the easiest way to get there is just to head to Anor Londo and head out the door, take a left. You'll go through here, turn right up here, and you'll go into another little area with a path up. And that will lead you right into it. Of course, you only have to take out one of these guys. Their shields act as kind of like a super magic buffer, which always kind of irritated me a little bit. But since these guys don't particularly aggro you until you get just extremely close to them, you've got the opportunity to actually to do a little bit of trickery here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to equip a fireball, and I'm going to throw it at him at such an angle where his magical super shield won't block it. Okay, down he goes. Hey, what do we got here? Another giant's halberd to add to the collection. I really should take the time at the next bonfire to sit down and remove all the items that I'm not going to use. I have a tendency not to do that. Unfortunately, I'm not going to do it whenever we hit the next bonfire either. Now, back earlier in the game, remember there was a boar demon that had kind of an exposed butt that was weak to fire. We're getting ready to encounter two more of them, although they do not have the previous weakness. He is armored from head to toe. The best thing you can really do here is just to keep out of his way. Try to keep on his side, or at least give yourself enough room in the back that he can't kick you. I personally like to bring them a little closer to the front. Now you can do this one of two ways. I chose the melee route here after I failed at throwing a fireball there. But you can actually, he will not go out the front door, so you could, if you really wanted to, drag him over here and say use the dragon bow in order to take him down. You can do that with just a few hits. As you see here, my club is constantly bouncing off of him, and this is just irritating. I've always hated that, you know, no matter what weapon you use, it's just like hitting somebody's shield or armor. It always bounces off, and you have to recover from it. So I was considering using the fire Balderside sword here, but I instead decided just to go with lightning. I want to try to pump out as much damage as I possibly can, and even these small weapons just bounce right off. So, but they recover quicker, which is kind of the reason why I got it out. Unfortunately, it didn't seem to really help me much. I had a little more trouble with this one than I did the other one. Good thing is that once you kill these two, they're just like the other ones, they don't reappear. He charged right before I had a chance to get over to him. Oop. See, what I should have done here is just kept to his side, like I'm doing now. Unfortunately, I'm getting ready to get caught by one of his mauling attacks there. And see, he'll start to do that repeatedly, so you've got to get out quickly. And then I wound up getting hit by another one and attempting to heal. Not really the best option there. And down he goes. And yet another fang boar helm. Let's go ahead and switch back to the regular weapons here. And this here is the reason why I really need to do something about all that stuff in there so I could switch weapons a little quicker. Okay, now here's really where the fun begins. If you get over here on the side, you can take these guys out pretty much at your leisure. Not exactly so, because as you can see, they're coming for you, but at least gives you the opportunity to kind of deal with them quickly and one at a time. Notice there's an archer up there. Typically, if you get around to the left over here, and you can actually avoid his arrows and pull the one over there on the other side of the room, he'll come to you. And if you stand here near the bottom of the stairs, you can actually get this archer to stop firing and he'll start walking down a little bit, which gives you the opportunity to be able to get to him before he starts taking pop shots at you and hit him pretty good. Careful there through the door, there is a sorcerer up there. And those magic bolts, or those arrows that he shoots, are just very, very, well, they hurt a lot. And I keep getting hit by them. I blocked that one. Now, the most annoying thing about these guys is that you can only hit them once. Well, at least with a melee attack. You know, if you're doing like an arrow attack, of course, he won't do this. But just the first time you strike him with a melee weapon, he immediately he winds up teleporting to a different location. And unlike some things, while he is in the act of teleporting, he is untouchable. So I considered coming down here for a moment and trying my luck with the bow. But I couldn't get quite a good shot on this, and it's hard to actually set this shot up so you're not just getting pelted, as you can tell. So I'm going to quickly give up on it and actually just go in for melee. Because I'm taking way more damage than I need to, really. Now that little dance there that he does actually strengthens the guys right around him. Unfortunately for him, there really wasn't anybody directly around him in order to increase their power on. But that staff does that. That's the special move for that staff. So it's actually kind of useful whenever you're in co-op. Now normally you can get this guy to come out here and get him. For some reason he turned around and got himself stuck in the wall. And I tried to get him over here, but as you can see there's just no way. And then my sorcerer friend came down the stairs a little bit. I didn't even see him, I just narrowly missed that. As you can tell, you can kind of do that trick where if you stand near the side of the thing, you can get these guys to walk down. Which makes taking them out just a little bit easier. Of course, you're not really dealing with just that guy. And then see, he popped up through the floor. Just the bad part about getting him stuck there. Forgot about him being up there. There's going to be an archer up to the left. Okay, now you're going to find several chests along these corners over here. Just be sure to check your chains because mixed in with them, there's at least one mimic out here. There's a few mimics actually scattered out throughout Duke's archives in general, but for the ones that are right around here at the ends, I believe there's only one. There might be two. But always a good idea to check your chains. Okay, here's the next chest here. I noticed that his chain is different, so it's time to get prepared for combat. Now you can get the one strike while he's down like this. Unfortunately, notice I've tried to hit him a couple more times. While he's standing up, he's invulnerable, but just as soon as he hits the top of that peak, well, he becomes vulnerable again. And that time, keeping swinging worked for me. I'll do it again later on and it won't work quite so well. There's only one real enemy in this particular room here, and I like to try to drag him back to the room that we just came up from. Mainly because he's one of these NPCs that likes to dodge and roll, as you can tell he just did there. He is still fairly easy to stun lock and basically knock him into oblivion. So I was thinking about using a smaller weapon for this right up here because there's a crystal lizard right here. But unfortunately, and I knew that that club was going to hit the top wall. Thankfully, I was able to get off a good enough swing one time in order to be able to get him, and I didn't have to do any trickery like, say, stop and reload the game in order to get through it. Now here, we are about to come across one of the most annoying sequences in this game, I thought. The first time that I came across this, it really bothered me that I got out there and I was really expecting, you know, that whole boss battle, and, you know, it pops up and there's nothing you can do here. So the best thing you can do is, if you've got some good souls and whatnot, equip a ring of sacrifice. That way you're not going to lose anything, because death is unavoidable here. So I'm just going to sit here and run around in a circle for a moment until he finally finishes me off. It won't take long. And there we go. Of course, those rings of sacrifice are used once only. Luckily, they give us this convenient bonfire right in our cell. I'm just going to take the time here to go ahead and kindle it up. Before we make a break for it. Okay, I know that there's a lot of people out there that think that this isn't terribly apparent. But, I mean, getting out of here is really just as simple as walking over, striking that guy, and picking up the key. I don't know. I think I kind of did it my first time on blind luck. I happened to see him there, and I just struck at him, not really thinking that he was going to be the answer to opening my cage door. But hey, it works. Open, says me. Not entirely for sure why the snakes seem to be frightened of these guys. They're really actually quite simple to deal with. Normally I've been getting to where I've been removing certain deaths that I have in here. This one I chose to leave in mainly because this is a good example of how not to do this. Make sure that you always judge your distances whenever falling and get your angles right. Otherwise, if you hit the wrong thing like that, it pushed me completely off that thing and I missed the platform I was aiming for. Which is not good. So just take the time and work that off of an angle a little bit more to the left and you won't have that problem. This time I decided to take care of these snake guards who are fleeing. So one of them there, he escaped my wrath, and they're actually quite a lot easier to take care of while you're down than while you're up, because he's going to get the opportunity to get a free shot on me. Plus that, while they're on the ground down there, they will not attack you. Okay, falling off of ledges, take 2. This time I take the time. If you walk straight off of it, you'll hit that thing, or slide right off of that thing and it'll push you down. If you just walk around just to the left a little bit, works great. Now this will take us to a little secret area here. If after you've done the catacombs, or excuse me, after you've done the Tomb of Giants, whenever you come through here and you've already talked to the maiden after she's gone back up to the church and exhausted all your possibilities with her, you will find her here hollow and attacking. Otherwise, you just find the clothes. Come on out here. Take care of you right fast. Okay, and that door there is locked, requires a separate key. Luckily, it can be found in the cell right below it. That even though you can't actually see one, good plunging attack there will take care of him. I'm going to take your key. I suppose before we go down any further, it would be beneficial to go back up and unlock that locked door. There's nothing hugely special in here, but let's cover all of our bases. Okay, now normally, after you get that little sequence there at the beginning where they turn on the music maker and those blue things kind of go crazy, for some reason, I'm guessing, and maybe after I died, that music maker got turned off without me having to touch it. And so none of these guys swarmed out of the room or came up to meet me, and I was able to take them out quite easily one by one. So it is possible that I either stumbled across a glitch here, or that dying right there can actually be beneficial to keep these guys in a more contained state. But as you can see here, I was able to take them out just one by one. And that grasping attack there that they do, that's the only thing you really have to watch out for. If you don't get it, they will shoot you with a needle through their mouth, and it does a pretty good amount of damage, so stay away from that. But simply, you see them rear back like that, just take a step or two backwards. See, I'm even going a little further than probably what I need to. But take a step or two backwards, and you'll completely avoid it, and it just opens them up completely free to go in and just wail on them. Yep, kind of shot that one in the wrong direction. Now you can do this with all of them except for the last two over there in the corner, and those guys don't seem to move for nothing. Got a couple more here. Now, so this is where I figured out that these guys just don't seem to want to move no matter what you do to them. I thought he was going to come over here. Oh, excuse me. That's not the two I was thinking of. Okay, that would have been the last of the normal ones. And there's a reason why these guys are not quite like the other ones. It's because they're a little special. Each one of them actually holds a magic spell. But they don't necessarily defend it all that well. So you can shoot him all day long and he won't do anything. Same goes for his partner. So then I thought I had something going on there. And the other guy just kind of walks away. Neither one of them seemed to be terribly interested in you. And my hesitation here is he got really close to Big Hat, and I didn't necessarily want to, say, hit Big Hat while I'm in mid-swing there. So I'm trying to be careful. As I said, you get 2 miracles out of this.
Hello again. What a chance meeting this is. Alas, I'm imprisoned once again. I don't suppose you could stage me a getaway. The archives. Such a storehouse of knowledge, so close but just out of reach. The thought offends me so I could simply die.
And that will complete this part of our Dark Souls walkthrough. Remember, if you've liked these videos, please click the like button. And if you'd like to hear more of these, click subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.